Yeah, good afternoon, Honorable. We have witnessed Central Committee meeting this morning. We would like you to update the public about the outcome of the Central Committee meetings that took place today.
Thank you very much. The agenda for today's Central Committee meeting is to discuss and adopt the report of the vetting panel appointed by the chairperson of the selecting committee. The members of the vetting panel follows my humble self, Darboe, Makumba Jete, Lamin Cheti Jame, Lamin Mas, Dinko Jame, Zainab Diat Gami, Habib Sise, Mariam Cham from diaspora, Mohamed Lamin Sawane from diaspora, Haji Swane, Albinta Senghor. They are also the vetting panel to screen and validate applications, conduct interviews, conduct verification as the grassroots consultations, prepare detailed assessment reports, and recommend candidates for the sublistings. And the applicants were assessed on the following areas: eligibility, leadership, and good governance experience, commitment to the UDP, public appeal and electability, integrity and moral standing. 11 applicants were interviewed. Along the way, one of them withdrew, that happened to be Khalid Ahmed Bensouda, and then discourse were given to the respective applicants on the 5 areas that they are questions, maximum 5, from 1 to 5 points. After the interview, the panel prepared the scores, and then the results for the interview based on the threshold. The threshold for the interview is 60. A candidate or applicant has to get 60% before you can pass the threshold and then be part of the possible shortlisting. At the end of the interview, the results were tabulated as follows. A.M. Hussein Darboe scored 246 out of 250, which gives him 98.4%. Bori S. Toure, 221 over 250, 88.4%. Ahmad Sane, 220 over 250, 88%. Suleiman Sao, 192 over 250, 76.8%. Lamin K. Darboe, 164 over 250, 65.6%. Dr. Mohammed Danjo, 112 over 200, 56%. Lamin Job, 124.5 over 250, 49.8%. Karamo Fati, 98 over 200, 49%. Lamin Jara, 180 over 250, 47.2%. You will observe that there are some applicants whose scores are over 200, others are over 200. That depends on the number of panelists that interviewed you. If you get the maximum 10, then that means it's going to be over 250, because the maximum that you can get a score from a particular panelist is 25. So 25 by 10, the maximum score would be 250. Lamin NSC 110 over 250, 44.2%. Then after the interview, the next stage was the verification, that is the grassroots consultation. The panel conducted assessment meetings with the party officials in each region, who assessed the applicants on integrity and character, commitment to UDP, leadership and mobilization, public appeal and electability, and unity potential. All the categories also acquire or attract 5 points maximum from 1 to 5 by each of the party officials. So at the end of the day, in the whole country, about 683 officials participated in this exercise. If I can be precise on that, like the ones who participated across the country, if I can be precise on that, Banjul Region 26, KM 71, West Coast Region 200, North Bank Region 95, LRR 97, CRR North 79, URR 70, and CRR South 45. All together 683. And each of the officials can give a maximum of 25 points. So if you multiply that by 683, will give, that means an applicant can score a total of 17,075. If maximum points are given to you, you can score a total of 17,075. So at the end of the day, the results for verification countrywide, ANM Hussein Darboe was able to secure, out of the 17,075, he secured 16,808, which gives him 98.4%. Ahmad Sane 5,931, 34.7%. Bori S. Ure 5,087, 29.8%. Suleiman Sawa 3,080, 22.5%. Lamin J. Darboe 2,967, 17.3%. Lamin J. Jawra 2022, 11.8%. Dr. Mohamed Danjo 1,852, 10.8%. Lamin Job 1,624, 9.5%. Karamo Fati 1,589, 9.3%. Lamin NSCC 1,407, 8.4%. And from the verification, you could note that only one applicant met the threshold, that is to secure 60% and above. That is ANM Hussein Darboe. The rest are below the 60% threshold. Now, according to our rules, the final percentage is determined by adding the percentage of the interview and that of the verification. And then if you do that also, the threshold for that should be 70%. And on that, we have ANM Hussein Darboe secured 98.4% for the two combined. Ahmad Sane scored 61.35%. Bori S. Ture scored 59.1%. Suleiman Sao scored 49.5%. Lamin J. Darboe 41.5%. And Dr. Mohamed Danjo 33.4%. Lamin Job 29.7%. Lamin Jawra 29.5%. Karamo Fati 29.2%. Lamin NSCC 26.3%. You can note that one also, only one applicant met the threshold, that is the 70%, and that happened to be ANM Hussein Darboe. On the shortlisting process, an applicant shall secure a minimum of 60% in the interview and verification each, and a minimum of 70% both interview and verification combined before he or she can be shortlisted. And then out of the 5 that made the threshold for interview, only 3 are to be shortlisted in accordance with 7.2 public rules. However, in verification and interview, and then both of them combined, only one applicant met the threshold, and the rule was not specific on that situation. That is, if only one person meet the threshold, the rule is silence on that. Of course, the rule says that if you get for you to be shortlisted, you have to get 60% in both the verification and then the interview. However, the rule further goes to say that even whereas all the applicants or more applicants to 60% or even all of them, the best 3 are the ones that are going to be shortlisted. So it's not always the threshold that matters. The emphasis is on how many people are going to be shortlisted. And the rule also goes to say, if none of the applicants secure the threshold, 60%, still the best 3 from the ones that did not make the threshold would be shortlisted for selection. Now, the predicament that we have since the rule is not specific, in the situation where we have only one applicant that secured the 60% in the verification and then the final stage, what should we do? The committee recommends that we still consider the best 3 in the interview, in the verification, and then in the final stage, that is combining the verification and then the interview. Now, if you go to the table, you will observe that in the interview, Darboe, Udp'S and Amadou Sane were leading. And then in the verification, Darboe, Amadou Sane and Udp'S also led. And then the final one also, Darboe, Amadou Sane and Bori were leading. On the basis of that, the committee recommends to the Central Committee to consider Darboe, Amadou Sane, Udp'S to be shortlisted for selection by the Selection Committee tomorrow. And this was the report that was debated by the Central Committee. And then finally, the Central Committee resolved to adopting the report of the vetting panel. And now the next stage of the process of the selection is the consensus building. These shortlisted applicants are currently facing the team of the Council of Elders who are engaging them in the consensus building. If they should succeed, then that means there will be a consensus candidate that will be presented to the Selection Committee for endorsement. If there is none, then that means there will be election between the 3 candidates that are shortlisted tomorrow on that tomorrow on the 10th here at Manjai by 11 a.m. On that note, I thank you all.
Can you please summarize it in Mandinka, please, for our local followers?
Memang for kan dorong kasudan dorong ben inin karol mem ke kan bring to sapirol kela na panelo mel londe men nyanta inin karol kela wala interview nyoti anin